this range had a coal fire burner, had a coal oven, a brick line for making bread. It had a broiler. It had a grill top. It was a real restaurant range, big restaurant range. Well, my grandmother would cook on all week long, and he would cook on Sunday if the children were coming with their kids. And I remember he would go out maybe twice a year, Easter and just before Christmas. And he'd get all dressed up, black suit, shoelace tie, white shirt, had a Panama hat, and cane.
Looking good.
And I would go with him, and we'd walk down First Avenue, which was the market in those days, from 10th to 14th Street. And he would go to the meat market that he used to order meat from when he had the restaurant. Well, Mr. Weinstein, who owned the meat market, was usually in his cage, way in the back. And when my grandfather would walk into the butcher shop, he'd see him there, and he'd come running out of his cage, come up and shake his hand, ask him how he is, and he'd get out the bottle, and everybody would have a drink, and then he'd bring him over to the first butcher who had his block at the end of the counter, and my grandfather would start ordering like he owned the restaurant. Yeah, let me have a dozen steaks, and give me a case of chicken. And the stuff would come home, and my grandmother would say, "What are you going to do with all this stuff?" And he'd say, "Well, what we don't cook, they'll eat. They'll take home themselves."
So
Wonderful guy.
Uncle John, how long did he live with you?
How long did we live with him?
Well, did you live with him? You were living with him
We would
on
live
14th?
with him on and off. I mean, actually, his idea of financial institutions was this, his financial institution was right here. Anybody needed money, up came the roll, how much you need. My father bought his 7-passenger Clint that way. We bought the house in Elmhurst that way. A loan with a down payment. My father started a business out of it. He helped everybody. Everybody.
Do you get paid back, or do people take advantage of them?
This wasn't a matter of taking advantage. The
depression came, and they couldn't pay him back. And then he died right in the onset of the depression. So family fortunes went from bad to worse at that point. But his apartment was a museum. I mean, it was absolutely fabulous, the things that he had in there. It was a railroad apartment. You walked in here, and you turned to your right, and you went to the front with a big room, a big salon, taken up by a library table that almost took up the whole thing. And then they had a sleeping compartment, him and my grandmother right behind it.
With curtains in front of it.
Yeah. And then coming down the hall this way, there was another small room, and then a very big family room, and then a kitchen.
With the big round table.
Yeah.
And then at the very end of this big salon, there was a door, and you went in, and that was his office. And he had this great big old desk in there and a big chair. Whenever anybody came that was in some kind of physical trouble or psychological, he would take them down. Do you remember the lady they brought in that couldn't even walk, and she'd been battered? Her husband had beat her to a pulp, practically. And she was screaming. She could hardly walk when they came in. He was in there with her for over 2 hours. Finally, the crying and the screaming subsided, and she walked out of there. And he had anointed her with all kinds of salves and potions and things. And I remember saying, too, you know, she was screaming. I was 4 or 5 years old. I kept asking Mom what was the matter with her. And she finally said to me, well, she got in a fight with her husband. And I said to Mom, why does she stay with him, with a man like that? At 5 years old, I wondered why she just didn't run away from this man, you know. And my mother just kind of shook her head and didn't even answer me. But some of the people that came in there talk about the lame and the halt.
My uncle Albert, this story has been told to me, and I don't remember it, but my uncle Albert had taught me when I was just about ready to stand up and walk, to get off my knees. He taught me to get off my knees and go looking in his pocket. Because he had kisses, these chocolate kisses in there. And that's how I learned to stand up, and because I would go into his pocket and take out a chocolate kiss.
This is great. Listen to this.
Well, a man comes in to see my grandfather, and it was warm, and he had taken off his jacket and he put it on a chair, and I'm creeping around, and I see the jacket, and I stand up and I stick my hand inside, and I come out with a snub-nosed 38. And I take the thing in my hand and I start creeping back down the hallway, with a bump, and my Aunt Mary is at the end of the hall, you know. She sees me creeping down, and I was about, I guess, just a little bit over two years old, maybe less. And she sees me and she says, "Ma che c'ha in mano? What has he got in his hand?" And this thing is going, bum. And as I get nearer, she lets out a scream. He's got a pistol in his hand. And the women are screaming and hollering. My grandfather comes out of the room, and he sees me, and he grabs a hold of me, takes the gun, and he turns around to this guy and says, "Is this yours?" And the man is crestfallen now. He says, "Yes." He says, "You come into my house with a piece in your pocket? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Get out." He threw him out of the house. Him and his gun with him.
Who was this man?
He was one of the boys. You come into my house with a piece in your pocket.
Probably woke up with a stiff neck or something, and they said to him, "You got to go see Don Pepino. He'll take care of you."